Hi, I'm August Keller, and this is my review of Heretic. So, I like this movie. I wanted to love it. I almost loved it. I think the first act is excellent, but I couldn't quite love it wholly and completely. So, here's why. It has a very high concept, a really easy pitch of a premise, and inherently has a lot of themes in that premise. But the payoff doesn't quite fulfill the potential of that setup. Thematically, it contemplates the blurred line between faith and control, and it does a good job of conveying both sides of that debate and really just kind of contemplating the line. You know, it doesn't really take a side, it's just kind of looking for where the line is. The dialogue drives the script. It's very much conversation based, and the conversations really turn into battles of wit, which is interesting. There's symbolism, a lot of theological information. It's clear that they did their research. And there's like a constant state of anticipation. The movie is very, very thrilling. The characters have developed and contrasting motivations. There's these two protagonists, and they kind of complement each other really well. Acting wise, Grant is really very showy. You can tell he's really relishing this role. It's got a lot of charisma, but also this underlying intensity, which is always fun to play. Thatcher and East both deliver complete performances with physicality and distress and growth. Some might find it belabored. You know, it kind of keeps explaining itself, or a letdown. I myself found it a bit of a letdown. But Heretic supplies substance and is a very catchy premise. Technically, you know, despite some genre pitfalls, Heretic is a sturdy thriller. Its direction establishes a dark tone, but it does kind of peak early. Like I said, the first act is great, and the second and third act don't really live up to that first act. The imagery overcomes some drabness. I can't stand why are movies always so drab sometimes? Like, drab doesn't mean scary; it just means drab. But there's a lot of framing and focus. It's very subjective at times. Like a lot of extreme spacing in the shots. So overall, the cinematography is a positive. It runs out of momentum, but editing wise, it paces out suspense very well. It doesn't ever feel exhausting or dull, just kind of not as exciting as it was earlier on. The sound has a lot of emphasis, distortions, and symbolic ambiance, like weather, which really elevates it. It's very like heightened constantly throughout. I really like the sound design here. The scoring has a lot of common, usual tense kind of scoring, but there's these really cool needle drops that are actually plot relevant. They actually discuss the needle drops in the movie, and they're very recontextualized. Creep by Radiohead, and I forget the other one, but they definitely had me thinking about these songs in a new way. So the music's good too. The production design is it has a very distinct setting. The setting is very important to the story, but it does kind of become a little too dingy. You know, I talked about how it's drab in the cinematography, but the production design, I think, adds to that. So it's good, but I wish they hadn't overdone the dinginess. The cast is great. You know, it combines an excellent against type veteran, Grant. You know, it's nice to see him do this villain turn. And there's these exciting up-and-comers in Thatcher and East. They're both, I wouldn't be surprised if they both become bigger than they are now. The effects convey proficient violence. I think it's mostly digital, but maybe there's some makeup and prosthetics in there too. So yeah, overall, Heretic is a fun ride, propelled by a gripping first act. It's a good movie. I wish I could say it was great. I can't quite get there, but I liked it, and I think it's worth checking out, and especially the first act. If you like stream it and watch the first act, I think that's a good use of your time. And if you're still interested, you could keep going. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. If you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to like and subscribe. I also have an Instagram linked in the description. But at the very least, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.